What do you get when you mix two friends, a podcast, and minimal focus or agenda?
You get a premium blend of vivacious banter across copious realms of sport, pop culture, and other.
Join us as we explore this week's topics. Who knows what we'll get into next? The answer is TBD. And we're recording across the universe. And these are universes that are... Oh, wait, you got something funny to say, girl?
I don't know. I was just imagining how it sounds, and I was going to think of a good landing soundbite. And here we are. We've made it. Listen! Yeah.
Listen! Okay, I can see that. All right.
Yeah! It's funny when we do that. We each try to also make a sound. We're
Another Brian Regan joke.
Yeah.
Take luck!
Yeah.
You know when you want to say take care and good luck, and you just kind of get lost in your words. And you just
What's that baby do?
What's that baby do?
Baby at the zoo!
Anyway, so this is across the universe.
Ron Howard, will you introduce us to Brian?
Where normally we do sports-ish and nerd-verse-ish stuff. Because we usually talk sports universe and nerd universe, and we try to mix them up a little bit. But this is going to be a little bit two nerd universes that are related in a way of just director-producers kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then a Twitter follower out there, not maybe a follower, but a Twitter person.
Yeah.
How'd this idea come up, Ian?
Well, first of all, B-Bush over here. B-Bush Peyton.
So is it? Well, if you gotta say a Twitter name, you gotta respect and let people spell it out with their thummies.
At B Bush Peyton, Bush like the beer, BBUSCH Peyton, like Sean Payton, Payton.
We're stealing your idea and talking about it.
Well, yeah. So we did let you know. We did do a heads up about our Across the Universe. So
we're not stealing whatsoever.
Yeah. So B Bush was responding to my notorious tweet, the aforementioned retweeted of the Ron Howard variety, which also, by the way, guys, we talked about that. It's retweeted by Sam Wimber. And so he had a really great comment, B. Bush. Basically, this is the comment, and I quote, "The movie was a fun ride and way better than all the criticism. Second time made it even better. Indiana Jones in Star Wars. Not the Indiana Jones of Star Wars, but Indiana Jones in Star Wars." He says, "It worked. Is it a top 5 Star Wars movie? No, but a welcome chapter." I agree with that. I did mention when we reviewed it, it's kind of like an episode of television.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. And then he just wrote, "Stop hating and enjoy a well-made film." So B. Bush laying down straight fire. And so I responded.
TBD approved.
Yeah, TBD approved. You know, that might even make it to the dank segment. It won't, though. I have something else to talk about. So, that got me thinking. I was like, yeah, Indiana Jones in Star Wars. And so, to me, Aaron, I want to make sure we're on the same page here, but what this made me think about was, Indiana Jones is, it's a fast-paced, fun adventure film, with amazing set pieces and notable
and a lot of curves.
Yeah,
you never know what the next scene's going to be.
Exactly. And so I that was what I took away from the comment. Solo was just boom, 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 fun, light-hearted adventure. You didn't need to, you weren't there in the trenches of Solo's mind. That's what the original trilogy's for. So, and then also there is a little bit of just seeing Dryden Voss's office. There's all those artifacts that kind of made me think of it too. Mm-hmm. And the heist and they're carrying around all the cases of what was that called, the coaxium?
Coaxium.
Yeah, and
did you have to verify that with me?
Well, it's only recent knowledge.
Just got kind of a Star Wars boner.
There you go.
Quick. I went to 6 to noon parsecs real quick.
It was like when I was sitting there and they're when they're like, "Let's feed him to the beast." And I know we talked about this, but I was like, there's a beast scene. Yeah. And Molly's like, "It's Chewie." I'm like, "Oh, of course it's fucking Chewie." But I didn't even know. I just didn't think because
I knew that.
Well, yeah, it was predicting, but like,
Yeah, okay.
I didn't predict it because like in Force Awakens there's that Rathtar scene.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Hate that scene.
And I've played enough Star Wars video games that there's beasts you have to fight too.
And then like in Rogue One, it's like now we're gonna take you to the boat.
Return of the Jedi.
No, I know, but that at least was original. But I'm saying there were two in Force Awakens and in especially Rogue One. It's like here's the weird vacuum creature. What was the point of that? It served no point. Yeah, so I was like, why is there another beast scene? But it was Chewie, and that was probably the second best scene in the whole movie. Okay, so it got us thinking. What other film templates, if you will, film formulas, film story beats, the essence of X, could you make work in a Star Wars film? So I think this will be a fun discussion. I've got one right off the bat, and I'm just gonna go with it. So we talked about this, I think, way back.
And BT Dubs, TBDs, BT Dubs. I have no idea what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
because we just came up with this.
Yeah,
and that's why we do this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll right off of your tongue.
All right, B Bush P. Cute. Yeah. B Bush P. You asked, even though you didn't realize you did, and we're here to answer. So, what sort of Star Wars film formulas can we fit in Star Wars, aka not Star Wars film formulas? What other film formulas can we fit in Star Wars? Let's cross the universes right now. So, yeah. So, Aaron, we talked about this in, I think, TBD 1, issue 1. I've got for you...
Issue 1. That's what we should have called this. It should have made them sound like books.
Or comics.
All right.
So, I'm thinking, what about James Bond? What about a spy film?
100%.
You've got... we've talked about this, I could see it working perfectly in the Clone Wars era. Clone Wars, unlike the Galactic Civil War, which is the conflict that the original trilogy is staged in, it's a dominating power with a rebellion, a fledgling rebellion. And with the Clone Wars, you have two basically equal sides. And so they both have control over portions of the galaxy. And the reason I think that would be important is because the Separatists had a capital, they had an economy, they had a government, and so there could be a whole element of espionage going on in the Clone Wars outside of the typical battles. I'm imagining, I've always wanted like a bridge of spies. I want a Cold War-esque style espionage Star Wars film, or just elements of that in
cinematography. I could totally see it. Just kind of this like kind of dark, kind of like blue, like a bluish hue.
Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
so
cool.
It could work really well with the Clone Wars. Also, I think that they could somehow do that going forward. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with the new trilogy, but if they could, I always imagine, like, what if you could, like, follow the beats of history? Like, what if, like, the great victory over, like, the obvious, quote-unquote, evil enemy, it's like the Empire, that's evil. You don't have, there's no gray area there. Yeah. You defeat them, and you have, like, let's say that you join forces with, like, another faction, and you defeat the enemy. Let's say that, like, some alien race, what if it's the Chiss Ascendancy? They come and help the Resistance defeat the First Order, and then, in the next trilogy, there's, like, who's the Chiss Ascendancy? What if it becomes, like, the Cold War? What if there was like, a Cold War in Star Wars?
You're saying, like, there's Winston Churchill, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Joseph Stalin all sitting next to each other, and then all of a sudden, like, Joseph, you're a dick.
Yeah.
And, like, you're a bad, evil human being.
Yeah, it's like, Joseph was a dick, but, like, you were like, we have to deal with Hitler first.
We got to kill the first evil head of the Hydra. Yeah, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
I think that would be amazing. And so
I see. So what you're saying there, I loved your James Bond idea.
Yeah, I guess I kind of got sidetracked into
and then you kind of went into.
I feel more strongly about the second idea, though, personally.
Really, because I have a huge Star Wars boner. I'm gonna stop using that. It sounds weird. But my lightsaber is on for that idea, because I feel like I like the individual. So actually, when it comes to a Star Wars onboarding, you have the not world building so much, but more of the global ideal, and then you have the character building. And I see such awesome ideas coming out of the James Bond thing, where there is no Luke, it's not Han, it's not anyone from a trilogy or a series,
force powers, or
which
anything.
Now we can't say really trilogy anymore, right? We have to say it's the episodes,
the
1 through
cinematic.
whatever.
Yeah, there's the cinematic, films, and then there's everything else.
And then I think this is, and I love this idea that we come up with the universe of Star Wars has an infinite amount of ideas that can come out of it that don't have to be related to.
It's transcended the Skywalker story. Star Wars should be like what a Western is now for filmmakers. Like, I want to make a war film in a Western, like between the white people and the Indians, and
it just has to be in that universe.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And true Star Wars fans like yourselves, and you've said this stuff. I'm not going to take any credit for it. You said this stuff in just our own conversations because we don't hit stop when we are recording and don't talk to each other. That you've said this stuff and it's like, oh, that would be really cool, and James Bond really like that. There needs to be that, and then Boba Fett kind of has that kind of part of him, but he's not part of.
No, I think he'd have to be in the Republic. I think it would have to be.
Yeah.
If I were to write James
and
Bond
MI6 script, is Republic for sure, for the good,
British accent,
for the good, but we do kill, but
why are we in space and then
we give you
English accent? This is no English.
Thumb Wars. Why do we all speak British accent? Okay. Anyway, so I think that's really cool. But then I also like where you veered off a little bit, but you kind of branched into like you just split into 2 universes. Yeah, and I think that's cool.
A little did you know there is a arc in the Clone Wars where Obi-Wan is trying to infiltrate the Separatists, and so he gets facial like reconstructive surgery, and so he looks like a different person, and he infiltrates through like trying to be recruited to his
like Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage in 1993.
I don't remember the plot of that film.
They literally just switch faces.
And like to do something?
Yeah, it's early 1990s action films. There's not a lot of substance to it. They just the cover is both of their faces split in half, and then they change faces,
and then they battle,
and then they pretty much fight. Yes, in like Los Angeles, just like every action film from the 90s.
So he ends up like having to go into jail, and Anakin thinks he died in real life. So Anakin's trying to solve the case, and then like Yoda and Mace Windu know that he's actually undercover.
Mace Windu, I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, and it's a really good arc. But so that's actually what makes me think like, how cool would it be just for like a deep, and also in Legends there's an amazing story about another Jedi who does this similarly. But I'd rather see it with someone who's not a Jedi.
Okay, I'm loving it. Well, my take, what would I say would be a good kind of like, so basically we're saying just like movies that we know.
Yeah, movie template,
movie themes that we can correlate to be like in the Star Wars universe, right?
What could work?
So, Beehive or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I don't have it. I can't.
Paul Rudd?
No, the one that tweeted this, and I apologize. I sincerely apologize because I am actually not looking at anything that's on Twitter right now.
B. Bush
Payton. That would be my pick. Was Indiana Jones, right? Because that's my thing.
Well,
I love
is
Indiana Jones.
Solo the culmination of what you want? Or
so
what
no,
else
I'm going to expand a little bit on that because I get where the connection was. And then I would love to see
which Indiana Jones is this Solo film, if there is one.
I would. It might have to be Last Crusade.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
Well, the one that's my favorite. But there's a little bit of hunting involved and getting stuff, and then he also. Oh, now this is just a brain fart. The hot Sherman. I feel like an asshole. I should know this name. The one that turns on him.
Yeah.
And his dad. His dad.
Totally.
Yeah, that is Kira. Right? You know, we're on the same team. We're going to the same place. We're going to find the same stuff. And oh shit, you were against me the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have quite the growing up,
right.
kind of upbringing. Dr. Schneider.
Yeah. Is that it?
I think her name is Schneider. Yeah. Anyway, that is where I correlate that. And then I guess Beckett would be a little bit of his dad, right?
Yeah.
That kind of character correlation.
Yeah.
So I can totally see that. And then he gets help from fun characters that we've seen throughout the indie films.
And just thinking about like that bar where they meet Lando, like that is right out of
Well, I said Casino
Indiana
Royale
Jones.
and James Bond, but yes,
No, the scene, like the plot point of the scene, yeah, is that of James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
But the set, that looked like you could have taken out any robots and just put people in there. That could have been an Indiana Jones scene.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. So anyway, in terms of, I think that you could turn actually any Star Wars. Star Wars is a universe with an economy,
you could have a romantic
economy, and you can have like you would see that, and I would see it too, but it wouldn't be successful because if you put Star Wars on it, it's got to have action, and it's got to have adventure. It just has to. That's what it's got to be. So I think Indiana Jones-esque type things. I mean, with an nearly infinite amount of timeline that Star Wars has, more than human history, really.
Yeah.
In the history that we have, that Indiana Jones would go hunt for or dig for, there is so much when to go to Kashyyyk and things like that, and do like
good deep cut.
Yeah, thank you, KOTOR.
Yeah,
but like
it's actually Kashyyyk.
Yeah. Sorry,
it used to be Kashyyyk, and then.
Oh, okay, so I'm not wrong.
I used to like calling it Kashyyyk.
You know what? Sorry, not sorry. So
episode 3 trounces KOTOR, and it was pronounced Kashyyyk in episode 3.
Okay. Well, anyway. And that's where, like, that I could see an actual, just straight up, just translate Indiana Jones and find a character and do that. So, but he already kind of called that out. But I think there would be cool, like, Jason Bourne.
Ooh,
not so much a James Bond, and not so much a Jason Bourne's pretty much a RoboCop, right? You know, just completely
Amazing
trained to be a
soldier,
RoboCop, but there's nothing Robo about you.
Yeah,
but that's what he was.
I'm thinking about with him is that's what I'm thinking about with him is it's like he is always just persona non grata for the American government, and he's just on the run constantly.
So what if it was if Jason Bourne woke up in the Empire, like shit on the Death Star, right?
Yeah,
but he was like a rebellion soldier.
Yeah.
That something happened. Yeah. And we don't know what the fuck happened to him, right?
Interesting.
And like maybe he was on like an espionage mission into the Death Star.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And something just happened and he was like trained.
That kind of happened to Revan.
Yeah.
KOTOR.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
So like that kind of thing, I see a Jason Bourne kind of story coming out of like Star Wars, and where you can cross over both sides of the battle. Not so much maybe a mission of a rebel soldier, James Bondish kind of guy, or a Boba Fett.
Oh, you're saying that there should be like the kind of like in Bourne where like the person tracking Jason Bourne is typically like the secondary character.
Yeah, but instead it's the people that made him, or vice versa, or something. You can flip on both sides. You could have. What if you had an Empire guy that was like like espionage into the rebel base on Hoth or something like that?
Yep.
And
I love that.
I think that would be kind of cool.
I never saw the most recent one. Is his like story?
I got lost on it. The first 3 were fucking awesome, and then once it wasn't.
No, the most recent one is him.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Well, I feel really bad.
I think it's just called.
I grew up. Is pretty much what happened. And I don't have time. You don't have time to see Jurassic World, and I don't have time to see Infinity War. And now that we have a podcast, we have to see every movie for you.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the microphone.
So I want to do something really quick before we call this. That was a fantastic idea. Really good call. And that's actually one of the coolest things about Jason Bourne. Like, that could
being hunted by his own people in a way.
So I want to do just a pop-up store version of Star Wars onboarding because you gave me some cool ideas.
Okay.
A couple things.
By the way, hashtag Star Wars onboarding, people. If you want to know, love Star Wars,
application is online. Application is right there,
and we'll keep tweeting constantly about it.
So 2 things that you mentioned, I think there are. One I'm not so proud to admit, and one I'm very proud about admitting. So you talked about Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and how you could just keep doing all the different story beats from different scenes and different aspects of Indiana Jones that you love. You could see it in Star Wars, and then you talked about just the aspect of being an archaeologist in Star Wars and how there was so much history. So there actually is a Star Wars comic about a Star Wars archaeologist, and it is new in canon, completely invented character. She appeared in the Darth Vader comic. She's like a / mercenary / archaeologist / bounty hunter or something. And her name is Dr.
Is she a professor?
She's a doctor. Character's name is Dr. Aphra. And just from hearsay and like watching YouTube videos, like covering those comics, she does a lot of exploration to the early Jedi. So most of the stuff that in the new canon that like all the big Star Wars YouTubers cover, it's all been taken from her. So that's really cool.
That's actually, it's a comic.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to buy the. I'll buy the hardcovers now. And
Okay, you want to read them together?
Yeah.
And we can sit together and we can just read out loud.
Yeah, we
Take
could.
turns on each page.
I could close my eyes and you could read and describe every picture.
I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, Ian.
Okay, so now the next thing.
I just want to read a book. Or listen to it as you propose I should.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be funny, though. I always thought it would be funny, like, Audible with, like, comics, and it's, like, Roseanne Barr, or, like, just somebody with, like, an annoying voice. Like, okay, so, like, he's standing in a room, and...
We're not talking about Roseanne Barr, but we can go with, like...
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried, that we mentioned earlier. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He comes into Star Wars quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you have a guy, and he's looking at the window. There's a little bubble by his voice.
Ouch.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so the second thing, The Bourne. So there is an arc in the second to last season of Clone Wars where Ahsoka is... Anakin's apprentice is... what's the word? Framed for a crime, and she has to run from the Republic. And it is really good. And while she's on the run, Anakin's also like he's like tasked with tracking her down, but also like trying to clear her name.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about like this terrorist plot, and then like they find out it's actually another Jedi who's like turned to the dark side, and it's really good, and it leads to her leaving the Jedi Order, and that's how she ends up surviving and then showing up in so the last time Anakin sees her, she says like, I'm leaving the Order, like you betrayed me, and like they're like, and Anakin's all sad, and like she walks away, never to be seen again. And then in Rebels, in the episodes I told you to watch, the last ones of season 2. They meet again, and I won't tell you, but they meet again, and there's just a moment.
Happens.
It's so good. That moment's better than any moment in Force Awakens or Last Jedi, for sure. And Solo, and Rogue One. Yeah.
Duly noted, and I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
No, not being facetious.
Yeah.
So we've crossed over James Bond. Obviously, we talked about Indiana Jones a little bit because B. Bush Payton got it right.
BBP.
Hey, and this is literally a segment for you, my friend.
Yeah.
So we will at the fuck out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason Bourne.
Yep.
And,
American James Bond.
Yeah.
Cooler, more badass James Bond.
Oh, okay. So, well, not really. Not really, because James.
There's a
only
segment
been, like,
in The
one
Office
movie
where they talk about it, and like it's the members of the office are arguing about it, and Nelly is arguing with everybody else, and so that's that. Now I just get that association.
Hey, maybe next across the universe will be like, what Star Wars characters would have their own Office series?
Ooh, I like that.
That'd be
like
fun.
that a lot.
Okay. All right, maybe that'll be for like the Empire,
Yeah.
and then Parks and Rec will be for the Rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got this. This is gonna be fun. And what we'll do is we're gonna do our own versions of those theme songs.
Yeah.
Okay, this is happening next week.
Yeah.
Oh my God, cliffhanger. Oh, who would be Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Chewie, and that's all we're gonna say. No, and anyway, so. I think this has been a good fun time sitting down on my butt.
Yep. All that's left is our segment of Dank.
Segment of Dank, which is literally, Ian, what was Dank this week for you?
Was Dank this week? You know what I like, Aaron? As a manly man, some good old show tunes. I saw The Greatest Showman last week with my girlfriend, and
Was it really fun? Did you
I
like
was not stoked to have to watch it. And then I ended up being quite pleased.
it? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Wolverine didn't show his claws, but
You do know that he's pretty much done more of show tunes
Yeah.
in his career
He's
than
got
he has done anything action.
oh, he's in like 7 X-Men movies.
Yeah, and he's in a lot more than 7 show tunes.
Well, good for him.
He's been on Broadway for like 15 years.
Apparently, when they actually casted
Les
him
Miserables?
when they actually casted him as Wolverine, apparently people freaked out about it, and like that's probably outside of like
You can't hire talented actors
Outside
and
of
singers to be a superhero.
outside of Heath Ledger being the Joker. I don't think there's ever been a better casting than Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for a superhero movie. maybe Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. You're thinking of a Batman, aren't you? I'm trying to think of a Batman. I can't think of it. Who's
Michael Keaton? I don't know. I know there isn't. I don't know. And actually, I loved Heath Ledger, but when it comes, that was a new adaptation of Batman. Yeah. That is not from comics. That is not from what people.
No, I know.
Jack Nicholson,
yeah,
as
great.
The Joker is the Joker, and it's not just like he had to play a character, but
it's
he
like
played
it's
that
like
character.
It's like LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan had.
I'll go with that.
He's 6 championships. LeBron has done it longer, and so I feel like with Hugh, he was Wolverine for 9, like almost 20 years.
No, he's no downplay on Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah,
he's also just a.
Have you seen Logan?
I did see Logan, but
you didn't like it.
I don't remember it because it was one of those movies that like I needed to watch it and it's available on TV and I hit play and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, okay.
Like I was in and out and I feel really bad about it, so I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay.
Because I love the X-Men movies. I'm not an expert on them.
Yeah,
right.
I like them the most.
But they're fucking enjoyable. I'm really loving the Marvel like Infinity War, Avengers. I'm really loving that, but that's exploding right now.
Right.
But I don't know. I think if the LeBron Michael aspect, I don't know. I think the greatest all time Joker is going to be
I think
the
Michael's
original
the greatest
Joker.
all time, and I get what you're saying. Like
you said, Michael.
No, I'm saying Michael. I'm saying
Jack Nicholson is the
I'm just
Joker.
saying longevity has a place in an argument. Is what I'm trying to say, and I will agree. But I'll even one up you. Like
Prince was the soundtrack of that movie too. So I'm sorry.
Really?
Every song
is a Prince song.
Yeah. The scene where they're going through the museum and he's just splashing purple paint all over the place and green paint. Yeah. That is a Prince full on produced.
That's awesome.
You know Prince produced every instrument of every album that he put out. He knows how to play everything. Yeah. I've been to a Prince concert at Key Arena.
Yeah.
He literally would not kick off his, bandmates, if you will. It was all right, it's your turn to play drum. Prince would just be like, drummer, my turn.
That's so cool.
And then get on bass and he would just kill the whole fucking stage.
Why didn't he do that during the Super Bowl? He only did it
because he only got like 10 fucking minutes. He's got to sing the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, Hugh Jackman can sing.
Yeah, no,
Zac
he can't.
Efron.
Well, we know Zac Efron can sing, but anyway. So, what is dank in my life? Gotta say, it's still Queer Eye.
Yeah, it's still going good.
Randy and I, my wife, we're watching that. It's such an invigorating show. Which and we're not I'm not gonna say anything political, but just the world right now is just kind of.
I don't even think it has to be political at this point. Like saying how you feel about gay people, like that.
I'm not talking about gay. I'm not talking about gay. I'm not talking about whichever, trans, asexual. I don't give a fuck. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just the world is kind of ugly right now, and this is not the podcast to talk about that. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see stuff where things are positive. Mm. Like World Cup related, and I've seen this before where friends have someone that is blind and can't, but they're a huge.
I know what you're talking about.
But I retweeted this shit, and I said this on our Scuttlebutt Twitter, which subsidiary of TBD now. It's like, here's something beautiful in this ugly world right now, and Colombia playing, I believe, Poland. This man who has a best friend, like if I at 9 was able to between 0 and 9. And we were friends, could see and could hear, and then all of a sudden disease, I can no longer hear or see. His best friend, they figured out on a miniature soccer field, soccer pitch, I apologize. He's moving his hands around, and there's different touches on fingers to say this is a throw-in, this is a free kick, this is, whatever. And he's moving his hands around so he can see the game in his head while he's watching the game. And that's just a friendship happening. Yeah. And they scored. And here's what happens when they score. Nothing needs to happen because it's just... He feels the hands moving and then shot to goal. And then when you're blind and deaf, your physical sensory, is going off the charts. And you feel a room vibrate and your friend jumping.
Is it?
I cannot imagine the happiness and I can see how amazing that is.
Yeah.
And that's so small. It's one It's one person with one person in a small environment in Colombia.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit's happening when all this other bullshit's happening.
Yeah.
It's like, it was happy to see that. So why I'm relating that to Queer Eye is you're just seeing people that just think that this is normal life, that I, wear sweats and a t-shirt, right?
Right.
Or that I don't need to groom, or that whatever. And it's just like, just doing small things for yourself, and it invigorates yourself watching it to do something better for yourself. Just, for my wife, it's like, or your husband, or, your partner, just whatever. And this is a great show that reminds you about what you can do better. And I think that's pretty fucking dank.
Mm-hmm. That is dank.
Well, this was powerful. This was awesome.
This was powerful.
Wait, dude, we're on a direct line with Ron Howard. We're powerful people.
This be dynamic.
This be dynamic. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. This be
leave
done.
It on, leave it at that.
All right. No, this be done.
Ooh.
TBD. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
T.
Hi.
P. Determined.
Yeah.